we welcome you, Rohit. Before handing the session to you, I'll just tell everyone who is joining in for the first time that the tool keeps everyone on mute by default. So if you have any question, you can just type in down in the question panel on the right hand side. We'll take up all your questions after the presentation. Okay? Welcome, Rohit. You can just continue with the session.
Thanks, Vidya, and welcome all you guys to this session on content marketing in 2016. So we're going to be discussing how we can ace content marketing this year, be absolutely successful at it. All right, so without wasting any more time, I'm going to get started. So this is what we're going to be covering today. Right, this is the agenda. We're going to be starting with what exactly 10x content is. Right, what do we mean when we say 10x content, right? Why do we need to create 10x content? How can you create it? What tools can you use? What tips you could possibly use in creation? And then we'll move on to content amplification, which is basically promoting your content, distributing it across platforms. How do you do this effectively? Why it is essential? Why do you need to do this? And how do you do this effectively, right? We'll also share a good number of amplification strategies which you can use to effectively promote your content and increase your search rankings, increase your traffic, and also produce business results. We'll also run through a couple of case studies where these tactics and these strategies have been used and have shown results. I will also show you results that have been produced using these strategies. Right, so let's get started with the first one that we have there, which is what exactly is 10x content? Right, what do you mean when you say 10x content? So this is a relatively new term in the content marketing industry. I'd say it's a new buzzword. It had been around a couple of years ago, but was not so mainstream. Recently, a few months ago, sometime in May, the founder of Moz, his name is Rand Fishkin, he come up with this term on one of his videos that he does every week. They're called Whiteboard Friday. Those of you who are really interested can just Google for 10x content Whiteboard Friday later on and check out what he had to say. That's when this term kind of became the buzzword for content marketers. Right? So the definition is right there for you. It says content that is 10 times better than the best result that can currently be found in search results for any given keyword phrase or topic. Right? To put that simply, it means that for any topic, content that is 10 times better than any other content on the World Wide Web. Okay, any content that you find, let's say you choose a topic, and the content that you create on that topic should be 10 times better than any other content out there. That's a simple definition of 10x content. Right? So now we're going to see why do we need to create this? Right? Why do we require that our content is 10 times better than any content out there? Why is it even necessary? Right? Isn't it enough to just do what we are currently doing? Isn't it enough to just produce content at a good frequency, produce good content at a good frequency and expect our content marketing efforts to generate results? Well, not really. Let's look at why we really need to do this. This is something we all know, right? All of us here, we all know content is king. This has been around for years now. We all know content is what works across channels on the World Wide Web, on the internet, online, digital. Content is what works, irrespective of what channel you use, whether it's social media, whether it's blog, right? Content is what works. Content is king. This is something, it's a given, it's a bare basic. Okay. We also know that content marketing produces results. As you guys can see from the statistics I've pulled up for you here, you can see the companies that blog generate 126% more leads than those that don't. So content does help you in that lead generation effort. Content does help you grow your business, right? This is a statistic. I will also show you a live example towards the end of the webinar, right? And then you can see that 61% of consumers buying decisions are influenced by custom content. So you can use your content marketing efforts effectively to influence the buying decisions of your target consumers, right? This is again something that we already know, right? Another thing, earned media, which is your content marketing efforts, right? It has a much better long-term impact as compared to paid and owned media, right? For those of you new to digital, you can see owned media is whatever you own on the web, your website, your landing pages, your Facebook pages, social media profiles, right? Paid media is your ads, earned media is your content marketing efforts, all your social sharing efforts, activation of influencers. So you can see that earned media, the impact over time, it's something that is a little slow to pick up, but it's sustainable, right? Unlike paid media, where you can see it spikes when you run an ad campaign and then drops. Every time you run an ad, it will spike and then it will drop. Earned media, which is your content marketing efforts, is something that is long term. It grows slowly, steadily, but it does give you a sustained long-term impact, right? So we've seen how content is king, content marketing produces results, also how it has a sustained long-term impact. Another thing that works in favor of content marketing these days is that you can see the statistic here. 71% of Indian youth feel that they're being bombarded with ads all across the place, right? Most of them don't even want to see ads. In fact, I'm sure using ad blockers. I don't know how many of us, but I'm sure a fair bit of us, maybe some of us in the session also are using ad blockers. So we don't want to see ads. How do we reach that audience which is using ad blocking? Through our content marketing efforts, right? They would obviously want to read content that is useful to them, content that they find interesting, entertaining, inspiring, engaging, right? Here's another statistic for you guys. That's a staggering number, right? It's all over the screen. You can see it. It's 27 million pieces of content are shared every day, right? 27 million pieces. Okay, that's a lot. That's every second that I'm talking to you here, the number of pieces are increasing at an unimaginable pace. Okay, so we know content is king. So much content being shared every day. So basically you have too many kings out there. So much content. With all this crowd out there, how do you make yourself stand out? How do you cut through the clutter? How do you make yourself stand apart from the crowd? Right? This is how we'll go into each of these one by one today. We'll first cover how we can create, which you already defined, is content that is 10 times better than any other content on that topic on the, and then we'll move into, let's go into it one by one. Right, so let's dive into creating 10x content to begin with. Okay, so this, I'm going to give you a process on how can you create 10x content. And it's a small 3-step process. Let me right from scratch. How do you create content that is 10x? So the first step here, as it says there, is to read your audience minds, right? Find out what your audience really wants. This is going to be different from brand to brand, business to business. Different business persona. So you need to define your audience profile and persona. The first step when you craft a digital strategy is to find out who your audience is and drop their questions. This audience of more, would they find useful? What kind of content would they find valuable? What kind of content would they find? What kind of questions they're looking for answers to in their minds? Right? How do you figure this out? Right? You need to use some tools. You can't. We don't know what's going on in people's minds, right? We have to use digital strategies and tools to figure out what's happening. So here are some tools and platforms you can use. You can use Quor, Quora, all of us, I'm not sure, because Quora is a platform where people keep asking questions and you have people who answer them as well. So you can figure out on all these question answer platforms like Quora, Yahoo Answers, Reddit, all pretty much the same stuff. Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups help as well, right? You know, people are there discussing a certain topic. Go and see what are they discussing, what are the questions. There are questions that a lot of people are asking enough yet, which you can answer in much more detail based on your expertise in the industry or the category or on that topic, right? Another place is to go to popular blog, see what people are asking. So you have blog posts, popular ones always have comments on them. Go and see what are people commenting, what are people saying, figure out what they have on their mind. Use industry forums, discussion boards also you can use for the same. Free tools you can use for content marketing. Just kidding, right? So this is how you do your research on what topic you should cover in your content. That's step one. Step two is once you've already finalized on your set of topics, next is to research your topic, right? Research your topic, do a complete comparative analysis, okay, and find the most successful content there. Basically what you want to do is you want to find what is already the successful content in the space. How do you find what's successful? One way is to run a Google search for different keyword variations. So let's say we saw somebody asking a question here, what are the best tools? And we said, okay, let's do a blog post on content marketing tools. And then we go and plug this into Google search. You'll automatically find out what is the best performing content on the topic. Obviously, because Google always ranks the best content. If your content is excellent and it is linked to by a lot of people, that's when you'll rank on Google. So figure out what are the different keyword variations, what is the top content, make a list of all the top content you find, top blogs you find. And then another tool you can use apart from your basic Google search is a tool like BuzzSumo. I'm not sure how many of you heard of this tool, but it's a wonderful tool for content marketing. It's free up to a certain level, up to a certain limit. Even the free version is very amazing. It's fairly amazing, awesome to use. So those of you have not tried it out, an excellent tool for your content marketing efforts. So this tool, what does it do? It tells you what is the most shared content in the space, right? So if you look here, I've plugged the same keyword for sake of continuity. I've used the same keyword here, content marketing tools there in the search term, in the search box. And you can see it shows you all the content on content marketing tools that have been shared the most. If you see the second one there, the best content marketing tools for efficient marketers has 7,900 shares across social platforms. Now when content has been shared so much, it is obviously excellent content, right? It is obviously excellent content. Content that is shared, content that is ranking in Google here. This is how you find existing excellent content in the space. That's your step two. So I'll go back and repeat. Step one is to research, find out what topic you want to cover based on your target audience, based on what your audience wants. Step two, after you find your topic, is to find out what are the existing content pieces that are already covering the topic in a good manner, that are ranking on Google, that are being shared a lot. And step three is to go and make your content better than any other top content out there, right? You already figured out what is the most shared content, what is showing on top in Google search for that particular topic. Your job now is to ensure that your content that you create on that topic is much better than any other top content out there, right? It needs to be not just much better, but 10 times better than all the top content out there. How do you make that content 10x content? How do you write on that topic and make it 10x? So these are your four broad areas. One is make it longer, make it more detailed, make it more thorough. Take a look at all the existing blogs that you found, which are already good. Find out what's missing there. Right? Some blogs, for example, which are ranking in Google might not be long enough. They might not be detailed enough. They might not be thorough enough, might not be comprehensive enough. So what you do is you make it more comprehensive. Okay, the second thing to do is to ensure it's up to date. Some of these blogs there on the Google search might not really be up to date. They might have been written a year ago. Things might have changed. In the digital space particularly, things change every day. So you figure it out, make it more up to date. See what you can do to make it more up to date. Third point is to include better visuals, make it more visual. Add images, infographics, videos. And number 4 there is to ensure that your page loads fast and has an enhanced user experience. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover each of these points in detail. I'm going to go into each of these one by one. Okay, as I said, your content needs to be 10x times better than any other top content out there. So if this is your search results for content marketing tools, this is not what you should aim for. Your question is not going to be, okay, this is the best content, this is ranking 1 on Google. How do I make something like this so when I can rank 1? That's not what you should ask. That's not 10x content. 10x content, you need to ask, how can I make something 10 times better than any of these, right? Not just something as good as the first result, but something that is 10 times better than any content. This is exactly what 10x content means and is. So let's go ahead and see how can we make something better than all the existing content that we found on a topic. So the first thing is, as we said, make it longer. Okay, I'm going to show you statistics and data backing up everything here. So this is the first statistic to prove to you that long form content tends to rank higher. When I say long form, I mean content that is longer than 2000 words. You can't just write a 200-word piece and hope it will rank number 1 on Google. Most of the time it will not happen. It can happen though, but chances are very low. Okay, so you can see here that this is the average content length of the top 10 results. All of them are over 2000 words. Some are 2500. Ranking 1 and 2, they are all 2500 words in length. Next is about social shares. You can also see that content that is longer than 2000 words tends to rank higher in search results. Tends to get shared more. That's an error there. Sorry about the error. So it tends to get shared more. You can see the graph there for your reference. So you can see greater than 2500 words have the most shares. Basically, you'll see most of the shares come for long form content. Short form content does not work much. So that's why you should work on making your content longer. Next is to make it more comprehensive, more detailed, more thorough. So you can see here another graph that shows you how comprehensive content tends to significantly outperform any content that is not comprehensive, that we term shallow content, not detailed enough, does not cover the topic in absolute detail, does not cover every aspect of the topic possible. So you need to ensure that your website, your blog has content topic authority. You need to be the authority on that topic. Whatever topic you're writing on, you need to on that topic, right? Next is to include better visuals. Include images in your blogs, in your content, include infographics, include videos. So you can see there's a very obvious statistic here. And processes visual information much faster. We all know when you view something versus reading something, when something is explained to you visually through an image, through a slideshare, through a webinar, maybe through a video, when you're being shown something, it's much more effective. Your brain processes it faster than when you're just reading it and trying to absorb. You can even see that graph there. This is the search volume for the term infographic. You can see how it's been in a steady uptrend. It's been growing over the years. It's seen a massive growth still not died down, kind of flattened out slightly, but still growing. And here are some more statistics for you to show you how adding more images to your content will help you both in your search rankings as well as in getting more shares for your content, getting people to link back to your content, share your content. So here's one. You can see the articles that use one image for every 100 words on an average tend to get shared the most, right? This is one. And this is another one. By the way, these statistics that you see for the search, these are all sourced from a recent research report that was conducted by this website called Backlinko, which analyzed 1 million search results, right? 1 million, that's not a small number. They analyzed 1 million search results and came up with this data, all this correlation data of what kind of content works. So it's come from a fairly, in fact, I'd say a very, very reliable source. Okay. And it's fairly recent as well. This research was conducted just, I think, barely a few weeks ago. Okay, so you can see content with at least one image ranks higher than content that lacks an image. In fact, content that contains at least one image tends to rank higher on page 1 than content that does not have any visuals, any image on it, right? Your next step for your content, after making it longer, making it more thorough, more comprehensive, including visuals, is to ensure a great experience for the user. The user is coming, viewing your content on your website, on your blog. You need to ensure the user has an awesome experience. If not, you can have good content and a terrible user experience. It's as good as not creating that good content. There's no point creating that good content if your user experience is bad, right? That's just point blank there. You have to have an excellent user experience. So these are some key user experience points you should note. Number 1, ensure your page, your blog, your website, whatever is mobile responsive. This is a bare basic. In fact, I was not going to put this point here because I thought it's a given. But then I said, okay, let's just put it. Anything that is not mobile responsive today, it's as good as you might as well not have that content there. Everything is moving mobile. Mobile traffic is started to beat, is already beating desktop traffic. People access everything on their mobile phones. The bare basic point is to ensure at least that your page is responsive to mobile devices, it is mobile friendly. Even Google penalizes you now if you're not mobile friendly, if your website is not mobile friendly. So that's a bare basic fundamental point there. Second is to ensure your page loads fast, right? You need to have a fast load time. Okay, we've all become pretty impatient, I would say. We all want things fast. We don't want to wait for a page to load slowly on our mobile. We want it to load fast. We don't have time to wait for it to load. Users don't want to wait. The faster you let your page load, the better it is. Next is to use fonts that enhance readability. It's always good to pick fonts that make your content easier to read, make it easier for the user to absorb. And then, as we discussed, include visuals, include images, infographics, videos where possible, right? This is an example here of a blog where this is a massive blog. It's called The Most Definitive Guide to Managing Comments on Social Media. And it's over, if I'm not, maybe around 3,000 words, I guess. So this is an example of improving user experience. There's a table of contents that we added for long form guides. It makes sense. Easier for the user. You can just choose which part of the guide you want to go to. It's like a mini ebook. You have chapters. You tell the user, just pick which chapter you want to go to and you can go there. So let's say a user comes to this blog. User only wants to see how do I manage negative comments. Right now he or she is not interested in managing positive comments or whatever is there in that list there. You have 9 sections of this content. The person is just interested, I have a negative comment on my Facebook page, how do I manage it? He comes here, he or she comes here, clicks on point 3 and directly goes to the content. Right? Make it easier for the user in every way. Ensure that your experience not only gives the user everything on the topic, but also makes it easier for the user to absorb that content. Right? Next is to ensure your page loads fast. As I said, every second counts. You can see a graph there that shows that your page abandonment increases with every second delay in your page loading. You can see from 2 to 4 seconds, 2 seconds delay, 25% of your visitors are gone. Nobody is going to stay that long. Just 2 seconds, from 2 seconds to 4 seconds your delay, 1/4 of your visitors are gone. They're not going to even wait for it to load. All your content efforts, you put in a lot of effort, created 10x content, nobody is going to wait to read it. No point. Okay, this is another interesting case study. So what these guys did, BuzzSumo, the tool I just showed you, and Moz, which is a thought leader in the content and SEO space, together they did this analysis. They took content, 1 million articles they analyzed, and basically to figure out what types of content get shared the most. What content types get shared the most. They analyzed, researched 1 million articles, and this is what they found. It's on the right that you see. So they found that videos, list posts, when I say list posts, I mean something like, as I said, 25 free content marketing tools for effective content marketing or something like that. A list, basically a list of things. 25 reasons why your business should be on Snapchat. So that's an example of a list post. How to is a guide, like how do you do this, how do you do that, how to make 10x content, right? That's an example of a how to. Why posts, right? Why 10x content can get your content marketing, can boost your content marketing ROI by 70%. And I'm just coming up with random topics to give you an example, but that's how it works. These are the top types of content that get shared. Infographics, again, we just saw how infographics have become extremely popular. Research reports, surveys, and quizzes, right? Okay, now let's say you created your 10x content. You finished creating your 10x content. How do you ensure that your content is 10x? So here are 3 key questions that I have put down for you to ask. You did everything. You did step 1, you researched the topic. You did step 2, you analyzed all the top existing content in the space. You did everything that I said, which is all the steps to make your content 10 times better than the best content out there. Let's say you finished everything, you've done everything. At the end of it, you come and ask yourself these 3 questions, right? Number 1, does your content cover the topic in absolute detail? Is it better? Do you think it's better? Is there anything you could still improve? If you can still improve something to make it better, make it better, right? Does the blog have an excellent UX? As I said, your user experience is of paramount importance. You can have 10x content, terrible user experience. Nobody's going to read it, not going to help you. And the last one, so ask yourself, if I was my target audience, would I find this content valuable enough to either link to it or share it? Put yourself in your target audience's shoes and ask yourself, would I link to this content? Would I share this content? Would I find it really, really valuable enough? Right? Ask yourself these 3 questions and validate, is your content really 10x? These 3 questions will help you answer if you achieve the 10x content or not, right? Alright, so now that we've seen the steps on how to create 10x content, we are going to go into amplification, right? How do you amplify and promote your content? You created it, it's on your blog, right? You created your content, you put it on your blog, it's ready to roll. How do you get people to come to it? You need traffic, right? You want to build traffic, you want people to come and see it. Things have changed. 5 years ago, you created good content, it would automatically get picked up. These days, with so many articles being shared, it doesn't happen that way, right? So this is not what content marketing is only about. You can see there, content marketing today, in this day and age, is not just ideating your content, what should I do, what should I write about, creating and publishing. It's not this, right? Amplification, promotion, distribution is key. It's not like you build your content and they will come. I created, I ideated, I wrote 10x content, I posted on my blog, and I expect people to come and see it. It doesn't work that way anymore. you need to focus a good amount of time on your promotion efforts, on your amplification efforts, right? Amplification requires as much time as content creation, if not I'd say more. Okay, you can see the difference here. The old way is to spend 90% of time on creation, 10% promoting. In fact, these days it's the other way around. Spend 30% time on creation, create high quality content, right? And spend the rest of the time promoting it. It doesn't, in fact, you should just probably focus on quality, not quantity. Create, even if you just create one quality 10x content a month and spend the rest of your month promoting it, that should get you much better results than trying to create blog after blog, blog after blog. Right? This is a strategy that we follow for ourselves, for our clients. We've seen it work exceptionally well. Do extremely high quality content in limited numbers and focus all your efforts on promoting it, right? Building links to it, getting it to rank, and finally getting a lot of organic traffic to it. And so let's see how we can do this. Let's go into content strategies, content amplification strategies. I'm going to take you through a good number of them one by one. Each one of them is fairly powerful. Okay, let's go live into them. Let's see one by one what can we do. This is the most basic thing. This is the most basic thing. I was not going to include this in the webinar. I said, okay, this is something everyone does. But then I said, okay, there must be people I'm sure who don't probably blog and might not share. So it's a key thing. This is a basic thing. It's something you must do. It's a given. It's something that we've been doing for years. Is that the first thing you do is obviously go and share it. Go tell people, post it on your Facebook, post it on your Twitter. In fact, Twitter you post multiple times, as you see on that schedule there. Go tell people that, you know, we've got awesome content here. Come and take a look. Or this is what you'll get. This is. Take a look at this content. It will help you solve this problem. It will help you add value to whatever you're doing. It will help you. It will help answer a question that you have. Go and share it on your social networks. That's the first thing you do to promote your content. Bare basic fundamental. Next is to promote it as well. So if you have a budget for content marketing, those of you who have, this is definitely something you must do. Use Facebook ads, promote your post, promote your content, use promoted tweets. So this is an example that I have here, a screenshot from a recent promotion we did on LinkedIn ads for some of our content. So we did an influencer marketing trends research report, which you can see there, which was a research report on influencer marketing. And these are the statistics from LinkedIn. You can see that using LinkedIn ads as well, we got a fair bit of engagement for the content. Based on the benchmark that you normally get, the kind of engagement you get for LinkedIn ads, it's a fairly good number by our benchmark based on what we otherwise get on LinkedIn. Right, so after you share on social and promote it on your social networks, if you have a budget, we'll go to the next thing you can do, which is again, if you have an email list, those of you who are content marketers for brands, for businesses, or you have clients who you're doing your content marketing for, always send out your content to your email list. It works wonders. You can see here on the left, I have something that Neil Patel, he's one of the thought leaders in the content marketing space. So you can see this every time he writes a blog, he sends out a simple email like this notifying everyone in his list that I've just written a new blog post. You can go and check it out. This is what you'll learn. And then you can see something that we do as well. We do send out newsletters to our email list every time we have a blog. We do it once a month. We send out our top blogs for the month in a newsletter. Next is number 4, which is respond to questions on platforms out there, respond to blog comments, take part in forums. You have awesome content, you just wrote it. Go to all these platforms. Like this is an example here, right? It's on which CMS is better for e-commerce. In fact, all the examples that you're going to see now is based on a case study that we've actually done on our own. We've used this process, all these strategies, tactics, everything that I'm telling you has been used, tested for a lot of our content. So a lot of the examples that you see will be from a blog a couple of blogs that let me show you where those blogs are. So this is the blog that I'm going to be showing you about. I'm going to be showing you examples of how we promoted this blog. All the screenshots that you see are from this blog. You can see it's long form content, right? It has data visually, and you can take a look at it later on. Let me show you what we've done. All these examples that you see here. So for that blog, let's say I wanted to promote that blog, which is on the best e-commerce platforms you guys can use to build your business. I'm going to go to Quora or any of these question answer sites. I'm going to search for what questions people are asking on that topic, and I'm going to answer those questions with a link back to my blog. So you can see one screenshot here that I've answered on Quora for that blog. This answer itself has 4,400 views, just this answer. And I will show you sometime later of how much of traffic we've got from Quora itself to that blog, just from Quora alone, just from that one platform alone, right? So you do the same thing on other platforms. Go to Reddit, see what people are asking about your topic, where you can pitch in with your content, pitch there. Go to blog comments, industry forums, like you see on the right. Search for industry forums that are relevant and where the conversation is currently happening. Go there, add value, answer questions. Basically, the point here is to ensure that wherever you go, wherever you answer, ensure that you add value to the audience. Showcase all the research that you put into your content, answer the question and link back to it, right? Pretty effective, quite an effective strategy. Next is to mention your entities when sharing. So let's say your blog has a list like the blog I just showed you. It is on the top 10 e-commerce platforms for your business. So we'd mentioned these guys. We'd mentioned Zeppo, we'd mentioned CartRocket, and we tweeted, right? We shared tweets and posts mentioning these guys, especially on Twitter. You tweet saying something like Zeppo is featured in the top 10 e-commerce platforms for your online store. Now, obviously, these guys are going to be happy they've been featured in content saying that they are in the top 10. Obviously, they go and they share it with their audience. So you can see how CartRocket has shared the content with their audience. So automatically, you're distributing your content, right? You're getting CartRocket, which should have a decent following on Twitter, to go ahead and share the content as well. Similarly, you've listed 10 people there. You're trying to get all of them to share it. And automatically, it's a ripple effect. Everyone shares it with their target audience and you get additional reach for your content. Your content is reaching new people. People are seeing it. Basically, it's getting effectively distributed, right? Next is a strategy which says get featured in industry roundups, right? We all have these industry newsletters which come out, whichever industry you are in, whatever industry you're writing content for. Let's say you're in an industry which is into something as random as say waste management. Even those industries which are B2B, which might not have very exciting content, even they will have industry roundups, industry magazines, blogs, where people do a roundup of the latest articles in the industry and send it out. So you need to find out which are the most popular in your industry and category. How do you find it, right? So you do a Google search for what I've put there, roundup plus your industry. So if let's say you want to search for content marketing roundup, you just put content marketing roundup, search on Google, search on Twitter, right? Use your, limit the search results only to the recent, maybe couple of months or 1 month. So you'll get only the recent active roundups that are happening. So you'll see for that article on e-commerce platforms, I would rather Google e-commerce roundup, find out which are the most popular weekly e-commerce roundups, right? You can also search on Twitter, see what are the e-commerce roundups happening. Now that I know, okay, now I know who are the guys who do these roundups. I need to reach out to them. So you can see the first one there in the Google search are these guys called App Eagle, right? They're doing an e-commerce roundup. So you probably go and reach out to them. So you can see my outreach mail here. I reached out to them, for example, and I say, tell them that I read your roundups. They're awesome. and I really enjoy them. I get a lot of value from them. I've written a new content that I guess would add value to your audience. You need to tell them what's in it for them, right? So you need to tell them that I have some content which I've put in a lot of research into, which should help your audience who reads your roundups. So you can take a look at it here. Probably just let them know, give them a heads up that it's there. They know the content is there. You don't have to tell them sometimes directly that please add it to your roundup. You can just tell them that this content is there. If your content is 10x and if it's really useful, they'll automatically pick it up and add it. Right? So you can see the result as well here. So they come back. This is one of the outreach emails that work. Not all your outreach emails will work. You will have a success rate depending on how good your emails are. Your outreach emails need to be customized, need to reach out to the right people. So you can see once you reach the right person with the right kind of content, some of them at least tend to reply, and then they also tend to just share it on their Twitter, also include in the roundup. Right. Next is number 7, which is to post to different platforms. Basically republish your content. Share it in groups, LinkedIn, Facebook groups. Publish on LinkedIn Pulse. So the screenshot you see on the left is a LinkedIn Pulse screenshot. When you publish on LinkedIn Pulse, I'm sure all of you are active on LinkedIn. You guys know that when somebody publishes content on LinkedIn Pulse, everyone gets a notification which says that so-and-so just published a post, published an article. Automatically all your connections will get a notification saying that you have published a post. Automatically you get some reach. Plus if your content is extremely good, there is a chance, though it is quite difficult these days, there is a chance that you might get picked up by LinkedIn Pulse and get featured in that category, in which case you will get a lot of more visibility. Okay, you can also share your content in relevant groups. On the right there, for example, just pick 2 groups, like one for that e-commerce article, the same article. You could probably go and plug it into an e-commerce in India or an e-commerce professionals. Share your content there. Then is step 8, which is find people who have already shared similar content, right? Find out who has shared similar content in the space. So you can use BuzzSumo again. You can see a screenshot there on the left. You can see there it says view shares. You can click on the view shares button and you can see all the users who have shared similar content. So who have shared this top 10 e-commerce platforms blogs. So anyone who shared that content is obviously interested in my content, right? So I'm going to tweet or reach out to each of them, like you see on the right there. I'm going to reach out and say that if you like that article, you might also want to check out ours. This is something that you might like. So that's something that also helps. They will also share it. You're automatically getting more and more people to relevant people. The idea here is to get relevant people to see your content, because only your relevant target audience will find it useful and share it, right? So you find people who have shared similar content, reach out to them and give them a heads up that, you've liked that content, take a look at this. You might like it. Just take a look. So next is here what we did. We reached out to people who had shared similar content. Next is to reach out to people who have linked to similar content, right? People who have backlinked. So those of you not too familiar with SEO, backlink is when you give a link from one content to another content, which is a fairly important ranking factor in Google's search algorithm, right? So it does help you boost your rankings on Google search. So how do you do this? First step is to do a Google search again for all your keywords related to your content. So let's Google for best e-commerce platform, see what are the top results showing at that time. And then you pick the top 3 or 5 results. Use a tool like Ahrefs and OpenSite Explorer. I've listed them here for you. So backlink checker tools, you have Ahrefs, which is quite popular. You have Moz's OpenSite Explorer. Both are good tools for checking backlinks, free to a certain limit, both of them. If you want to use it more than that, you'll have to pay. So these tools will show you who is linking to that content. You can then reach out to those guys and tell them that I have more updated content, I have better content, that we put in a lot of research to. You might want to link to this as well if you find it useful, right? Your tone needs to be that, you might find it useful. If you find it useful, you might want to link to it. You can't ask, or you can't request, you can request someone for a backlink. You can't demand a backlink from anybody. So you need to ensure your outreach emails are in the right tone and worded perfectly if you want to get the best results out of these strategies. Next is to step 10, which is strategy 10 rather, is to promote your content on content distribution services. These are some of them, which are platforms basically for content distribution. You have HARO, which is Help a Reporter Out. You have Outbrain, you have Taboola, and PR Newswire. PR Newswire also gets you some good PR coverage, especially when you've got something that is newsworthy, something that is PR worthy. Okay, this is an example of a recent answer we did. So when you subscribe to HARO, which is Help a Reporter Out, they will send you a daily newsletter, which tells you that these are topics which reporters the world over are looking for to cover in their news, right? To write articles on. So if you can help them anyway with any content you've written, you can help them out. So once you see a query like this, where this reporter was looking for a best practice on how to engage bloggers, so this is the reply we gave, telling him that this is a tool you could use, and basically a detailed reply which he can use if he wants on his report or on his article in his research, right? Next is number 11, is to repurpose your content into an infographic video, right? As I said, you don't have to create content day in and day out. You don't have to create content. You spend 30% of your time, let's say, on content creation. The rest of it you have to work on getting the content you already have, that you already put in so much effort into creating, into the hands of the right people, and more of them. How do you do that? So you can repurpose your content. Let's say you have a blog article. You can make it an infographic. You can turn it into a video. The same blog, the same article you convert to an infographic. Same article you maybe make it a video. Convert it to an ebook. Make it a slideshare presentation. Right? Turn it into a webinar. Basically use the content in different ways so people go back to it, link to it, and it becomes more popular. It gets promoted. Right? And then your last step there, last strategy, is to leverage the reach of influencers. Right? You have a lot of platforms out there where you can reach out to people who are influential in your industry, in your space, or who are influential with your target audience. So you reach out to them. These are platforms that help you do that. You have Influencer, you have Indie Blogger, you have BlogMint and BlogAdda. These are some of them which help you reach out to bloggers and influencers to share your content, to promote. You can partner with them and get them to share your content with their target audience, which will also be your target audience. Right? You need to find the right kind of influencers who are relevant to your space and your audience, and you can partner with them to get your content additional reach. Right? So we've covered how do you create 10x content. We've covered 12 strategies on how do you amplify content. Next, all these efforts, we're putting in so much effort, so much time, right? A lot of it in doing all this. We've done so much, produced the best content, made it better than everyone else, promoted it all over the place. Does it produce results? Well, here goes. Let me show you. This is the article I was talking about, that I showed you a lot of the examples that we did for promoting it. You can see it ranks 1. These are incognito searches, right? These are public searches. So if you search for the best e-commerce platform India, this is number 1 in Google ranks, organic ranking. This is another article. It's a definitive guide to managing comments on social media. If you Google for managing social media comments, you will find it at page 1, number 4. Right? So all these efforts does help in boosting your search rankings, getting your content to rank. Not only search rankings, when you have search rankings for a high traffic keyword, you also get organic traffic. You can see here organic traffic to this blog. Organic and direct traffic is 58,000 page views to date, right? 58,000 views on that blog that I just showed you on top 10 e-commerce platforms in India. And then content that is 10x works on any platform. If your content is excellent, if your content is 10x, 10 times better than any content out there in the space, it will work automatically on any platform. You can see here, this is on LinkedIn Pulse. The same article on LinkedIn Pulse has 23,600 views, right? And this is not promoted. We did not run any on LinkedIn Pulse. This is purely organic. Probably it gets picked up in Google search, and you can see the graph there. It's been growing over time. Okay, search rankings, traffic apart, right? Search rankings and traffic is not going to make you money alone. Traffic alone will not make you money. The traffic needs to convert and bring business to you. Eventually, we want content marketing to show ROI, right? We don't want just content marketing to just get traffic, get ranked number one on Google. Ranking number one on Google is not directly going to put money into your bank account. We all want business. So you can see here, it's not just ranking and traffic. You can see we've got 73 inquiries from this e-commerce platform page to date, right? Which is a good number of them would have been inquiries for e-commerce website development. We also do website development for e-commerce companies. And you can see 73 leads there for website development from this content that we've written. So it also does bring business results. It's not just vanity metrics that, yeah, I'm ranking one on Google, or yeah, I get so much traffic. You know, it's also about getting business from it. And this is what helps. You need to have a page that is conversion optimized. So on the side of that blog, we have a get a free quote form. This is where these leads come from. When people fill up the form for getting a quote for a website, this is where these 73 leads come from this form. So we have a form there. You need to have that. If you want your content to convert, you need to make it easier for users to convert. You need to have something that is conversion optimized, something with a call to action on that page, right? So yeah, 10x content is the way forward, right? We've covered how do you create it, how do you promote it, and it is the way forward for content marketing success in the time to come. So yeah, I think now we'll have some time left. We can take questions. I think Vidya will help out with the questions. So we can start taking the questions one by one based on what you guys have.
Sure, we can. Just before taking up questions, everyone, you can just type down your question on the question panel on the right hand side. I'll just launch a poll for the people who are interested in joining digital marketing course at Digital Vidya. You can select yes, no, or if you're already enrolled, you can just say yes, you are enrolled. And for the people who have questions, you can just type it down in the question panel on the right hand side. We do have some question. First question is from Himanshu. He's asking, this might be off the topic, but can you tell me something about how data science, big data, predictive analytics, Twitter mining can be used in digital marketing analytics?
Sorry, Divya, can you just come up with that question again? I missed a part of it.
Sure. He's asking how data science, big data, and predictive analysis helps in use in digital marketing analytics.
Okay, that I think will have to be a topic for another webinar. That is completely off topic. I can probably, it does help Himanshu, but we'll have to rather cover it in detail. I'm not sure if I can answer that question in a few minutes. It's a very detailed question. It does help in a fairly large way, but that is a detailed answer that we probably have to see if we can do it in another webinar.
Sure. So we'll take up your question separately, Himanshu. Next question is from Akash. He's asking, page or content takes time to load, and it depends upon the location or company or devices from which they are opening the page. So how can one determine how much time does the content takes to open the page?
All right. So how it works is you need to test on an internet connection. You have tools there which help you test how quickly your page is loading. So you need to test for the same internet speed. You can use tools like Google Page Speed Insights. That is one. It's called Google Page Speed Insights. You can use a tool called Pingdom and Web Page Speed Test. These are three tools you can use. I'll just repeat it again. One is Google Page Speed Insights. One is Web Page Speed Test, and one is Pingdom, Pingdom. Right? These tools, you can choose an internet connection. You can say you want to check, especially in Web Page Speed Test, you can say I want to check how fast my page will load on an average connection in India. So you choose your location somewhere in India and check. This is for an average connection. So you can never tell. Somebody might have a slow connection. So you need to optimize for the slowest connection. Let's say a large part of your audience is going to be a 2G user. You'll have to optimize for a 2G connection. If you know a large part of your audience is on 3G, it's fine, but you still optimize for 2G, right? You still optimize for 2G.
Okay.
That's how it works. It's going to be different for different connections, but you'll have to optimize for the worst connection to ensure that even on a slow connection, your page will load. If it loads on a slow connection, fast connections are never going to be a problem.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you so much. Another question is from Rajveer. He's asking, how do you check ranks for a page?
How do you check ranks for a page? Okay, one is to plug it in Google search and check. You have page rank checker tools out there. You have tools, lots of them that you can check for. Even tools like Moz in the paid versions, you can check it up. But you have free tools out there, like ProRank Tracker is one. You can go there, just put your keyword and check if your content is ranking. Plug your content and plug your keyword. It will daily send you updates telling you that today, for this particular keyword, let's say for your keyword e-commerce platforms, today your content is ranking number 4. Right? That is one way to automate it. Other ways to just go and Google search and see if you're showing up on page 1, 2, 3. You can't search more than that. Just use the tool. The tool will tell you if you're in the top 100 anywhere. These tools will tell you if you're anywhere in the top 100 results. Right? Is there another question, Divya?
So Smita is asking, is there any other opportunity to explore other than backlinking for content?
Okay, other than backlinking, when it comes to search rankings, as I said, I've shared 12 strategies with you. Only I think a few of them are to do with backlinking. A lot of them are to do with social shares. Why do we focus so much on backlinking is because backlinking is still one of the key factors in Google search algorithm. It's the strongest correlation between search rankings, high search rankings, and on Google is with backlinks. Right? So that's why we focus a lot on backlinks. In fact, when you create 10x content, you will automatically earn backlinks. Right? You won't have to go hunting for backlinks. You won't have to go trying to get backlinks. Your content will automatically earn the backlinks for you. The point of creating 10x content is to try and earn backlinks instead of going and running after backlinks, because backlinks are what will eventually get you your search rankings, number one. Number two, the second part we focus on in our promotion strategies apart from backlinks, like a lot of the strategies I said will get you backlinks, which is going after people who have linked to similar content, posting on Quora, for example. All these are going to get you backlinks. But you can also get your social shareability, right? Shareability is also going to give you a boost in search ranking. Social shares do matter. So it's all about how do you get your content shared, not just get backlinks. It's not only about backlinks. You have a lot of sharing tactics out there as well, where you spread the word about your content, get people to talk about it, get people to share it on their platforms, right? But as of now, backlinking is still one of the key factors in the search algorithm, so it's important that we focus on that as well if you want search rankings in particular.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Nilesh is asking, how can we differentiate content for TV, print, and social media promotions?
How do you differentiate content for TV, print, and social media promotions? Okay, the content strategy that we've discussed here is broadly digital focused. When I say content marketing, I've broadly been talking from a digital perspective. Traditionally, it's going to be different. If you want to use content or try content marketing that is going to work multi-channel or omni-channel, in that case, you'll have to figure out content that will work across the place. So you create content for each channel that you want. Let's say you've come across some information that you want to pass out, not just, or a topic that you want to cover, not just on the digital space, but also use traditional marketing channels for it. like your TV, or you want to do a TVC, you want to use radio, you want to use hoardings. So you'll have to come up with content that will suit this kind of a strategy. Your content has to be something that can be used across media, both traditional and digital. Right? It's going to be different there. Your strategy will be different. What I've covered so far is broadly talking about digital from a digital perspective. But if you want to do content that covers everything else, that is going to be all encompassing, then you'll have to come up with content ideas that are so suited, right?
Thanks so much. We are actually done with the timings. So if you have any other question, you can just drop an email to me at divyam@digitalvidya.com. So we'll take up all your questions directly one-to-one, and we'll wind up the session. Thank you so much, Rohit. For the people who couldn't get my email ID, I'll just send out to everyone in the chat panel.
Thank you all for being part of it.
Thank
You
you.
got some good information you can use for your content marketing efforts and be successful there. Wish you guys all the best.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking your time out.
Thanks, Divya.